Hi everyone, my name is Ruijia Cheng. I'm a PhD candidate at University of Washington.
I'm Jenna, also a PhD candidate at University of Washington. We're excited to share what we've learned from fanfiction communities about feedback exchange. HCI researchers design online feedback exchange systems to support creative work by facilitating interactions between creators and feedback providers. Prior research has shown that challenges come up across systems. These include discomfort and vulnerability with sharing early stage work, difficulty summarizing the context of the work in a short text format, and uncertainty and distrust in the feedback provider's expertise as well as their level of effort. Observing how people overcome the challenges of feedback exchange in a naturalistic setting can help inform feedback exchange design. Fanfiction communities offer a powerful example of naturalistic feedback exchange, and are interesting to study in their own right as multi-platform affinity networks where creators develop their skills and identities. Our research questions are as follows. First, how do fanfiction writers seek feedback from their networks? Second, how do fanfiction writers identify and build the connections they use for feedback?
We recruited 29 fanfiction writers who are primarily from North America and Europe, who are women, transgender, or non-binary, with experience with a variety of fanfiction platforms and with a wide range of experience writing and sharing fanfictions online. We interviewed each writer over a 1 hour video call and focused on their feedback practices with other fanfiction writers online and how they identify and build relationship with feedback providers. We analyzed our data using grounded theory method. 4 practices emerged from the interviews about how fanfiction writers seek feedback throughout the creative process. We summarized the practices in the words of our writers: throwing ideas at each other, giving my friends a little snippet, beta reading, and all I want for Christmas are reviews. And in this presentation, we will focus on throwing ideas at each other and beta reading. Feedback starts at the very beginning of the creative process, while writers are brainstorming ideas for their stories. In group chats, they engage in activities such as talking through their thoughts, role-playing, or just joking around. In this process, writers and their friends playfully blur the boundary between socialization and feedback, exchanging ideas and adjusting the story in early stage. For example, in our participants' words, before they have even been drafting the story, they would bounce ideas off with their friends, and they are part of the feedback cycle from the very beginning. Once writers completed the first draft of a story, they commonly ask for a beta reading. This is somewhat formalized and more substantive practice of combing through the text before it is made public. The relationship between writers and beta readers feature deep trust and established common grounds, which will help ease social barriers around giving and receiving critique. In our participants' word, beta reading is always with someone that they have trust already. The feedback provider will trust the writer not to take any critical feedback personally. And because the writer has a relationship with the feedback provider, they know where they are coming from and can receive critiques easily. To summarize, we found fanfiction writers seek different types of feedback from their network across the creative stages. Their needs on feedback providers can vary when they are ideating, working in progress, and finishing writing. They seek different types of feedback from their networks across the different stages. For example, in early stage, where writers seek feedback for ideas and low-fidelity pieces of their work, they need a group of providers that they have some connection with. When they are close to finish and need editorial feedback, they tend to seek a small number of providers that they can trust well. And when they finish their work, they would like reviews from online strangers at a large scale.
Our grounded theory analysis coalesced around 5 themes for how fanfiction writers built connections with their feedback providers. In this presentation, I will discuss 2 of those: just reaching out and engaging in small private communities. The most common advice participants gave for other fanfiction writers was to just reach out to someone in the community. This could be in public comments, group chats, or private direct messages. Because kind responses to reach outs are an established norm in fanfiction communities, writers who overcame social anxiety and just reached out were often successful in making new one-to-one interpersonal connections. In the words of one of our participants, every single time I've reached out to someone in fandom, they've reached right back in their own way. So I definitely say that the advice is just go for it. Writers felt most comfortable getting early stage feedback from small, close groups of other fans. This could take the form of a Discord server, a chat group on Facebook, or a board on a less traveled forum. To find these private groups, writers needed only to follow their most niche interests. Once invited in, participating in the group helped writers find safety and connection with others. As participant 4 states, privately talking to people whose stuff I read who are other fans, it's a quite nice feeling of belonging. They went on to discuss how connection within this community motivated the writers' exchange of comments. We synthesized themes for finding connection into a hypothetical journey across the ecology of community spaces. In the center of this visualization, the themes of reaching out and connecting in small, private communities helped capture the movement of relationships between public and private space.
The implications of our findings may transfer to feedback exchange in other creative systems. Designers should consider different social needs at different stages of the creative process, which means a feedback mechanism works well for late-stage work may not be best for early stage, and vice versa. Designers should also consider how creators might signal and seek out feedback providers who share interests, sparking connections, and motivating effort. Additionally, feedback systems may better support social needs by making space for authentic relationship development rather than transactional one-off interactions. And lastly, it is crucial that designers empower creators with access control and other safety tools needed to create a safe, inclusive space for feedback exchange. Please see our full paper for more discussions, more insights, and advices for fanfiction writers.
Thank you so much for listening, everyone. And of course, if you're interested in continuing the conversation, feel free to just reach out.